Hello guys, and in today's YouTube video we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be going over 10 tips about ARC 3.0 that you probably didn't know. If you did know any of these tips or some of them, please let me know in the comments below and let me know if I missed any. I tried to cover all of the things that I thought were as important as possible or as useful as possible, because there are some other things but they're very niche and don't really have as much usability in game. In the PvP aspect, at least, I don't cover any tips for the PvE end of the game, but it's mostly focused on PvP or entirely focused on PvP because that is what I focus on. So anyway, let's get into the video. If you enjoy, please make sure to let me know. And if you want more content like this, also do that in the comments below. And to start the video off, we have Raju's Harness, which is a very, very strong exotic armor chest piece for the Arc Strider Hunter. There's a lot of things about it that are very strong, but for this first tip, we're going to just talk about and show that Raju's Harness is able to tank an entire Golden Gun, like all 6 Golden Gun shots, and can pretty much tank almost anything but Deadfall and Thunder Crash. Moving on to tip number 2, we are going to be talking about Spark of Resistance, the fragment for the ARC 3.0 fragment aspect system. For Spark of Resistance to be procced, you need 2 people within 14 meters of you, and when it is procced, you are given 15% damage resist, which does allow you to survive 3 taps from hand cannons and other things. You basically have quite a bit more health, and once you have Spark of Resistance, it actually lingers for about 4 seconds after you have acquired it, and that is tip number 2. Moving on to tip number 3. Alright, moving on to tip number 3. With tip number 3, this one isn't really as practical, but in the once in a blue moon scenario where you have 6 people standing in a straight line, or even 3, or maybe 2 that are pushing a doorway on you, Thunderclap is able to over-penetrate targets, and if you charge it all the way up, one-shot them. Moving on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is use Ballistic Slam, and as you're Ballistic Slamming, you pop Fist of Havoc. You are sent flying forward at Mach 50, and it really makes for some very interesting play potential, and is just a neat little thing that actually can definitely have some practical use in game if you're trying to get from one area to the next very quickly or close a gap. Tip number 5 is if you use Ballistic Slam while having the Synthesep exotic gauntlets equipped, you are able to one-shot your enemies as long as there's 3, giving you that slight, well not so slight, but giving you a damage buff towards your melee. Moving on to tip number 6. The Titan aspect Juggernaut. The Juggernaut shield without the exotic boots, MK44 stand-asides, takes 1 shot to break, 1 legendary hand cannon shot, which is 50 damage to the shield, and with the MK44 stand-asides, takes 3 shots. Moving on to tip number 7. The Arc Souls on the ARC 3.0 Warlock. Basically, amplified Arc Souls are equivalent or exactly the same as Getaway Artist Arc Souls. And this works for your teammates as well. So if your teammates have Arc Souls and they become amplified, their Arc Souls also become Getaway Artist level. And if you want Getaway Artist level Arc Souls, you can obviously just put on those gauntlets, but another way is once again to become amplified while you have Arc Souls. Moving on to tip number 8. Moving on to tip number 8, and tip number 8, special shout out to Trucker Dale 1967 for bringing this up while we were recording in the private match. So he coined the idea that you are able to basically put a Titan shield down and thunderclap while behind the Titan shield and melee someone on the other side of the Titan shield. And this also works with corners because the thunderclap pushes you forward when you use it. Once you charge up and let out the punch, it pushes you forward, which allows you to kind of use it around corners and then come around the corner with it right away. Shout out once again to Trucker Dale 1967. Alright guys, moving on to tip number 9, and in tip number 9 we're going to be talking about Touch of Thunder, Spark of Magnitude, and Storm Grenade. Without Spark of Magnitude, Storm Grenade is 6 seconds, and with it, it is 8 seconds, which allows the storm to chain for longer and further. Moving on to tip number 10. And the last tip for this one that I'm going to give in this video is when you pop your super and die, you spawn back up with super energy. You can also cancel it, that's a given, but when you die with your super, just like Chaos Reach and Geomags previously, you are able to spawn in with super energy still instead of losing it when you die. And lastly, for the bonus tip, we are going to be talking once again about Arc 3.0 Warlock and the aspect Lightning Surge, which allows you to slide and melee, which makes you teleport and explode into arc at the end of the teleportation. And the tip is that you are able to basically one-hit kill 2 people if you lightning surge right in between them. The jolt will be the finisher, but it will either one-hit kill them or get them very weak. And with that, that is the 10 tips, 11 technically, for Arc 3.0 that you probably didn't know. If you like this video, please make sure to let me know in the comments below. Once again, if you want me to make more videos like this, I can make tips, 10 tips for Arc and Void that you probably didn't know. That could be very helpful to some people, because I think there's a lot of little things, little niche things that can definitely come helpful in you know, just your wide play of the game. They're things that you won't really like know or always need all the time, but can be useful situationally. And I kind of made this video as a way to kind of answer some questions for myself that I had, and I definitely personally learned something in the recording of this video. So once again, make sure to let me know if you enjoy it. If you liked the content and want to keep up to date with what's happening with me and the channel, please make sure to go follow me on Twitter at Diffizzle. We're almost to 11k followers. And if you want more content from me, please make sure to go follow me on Twitch at Diffizzle. I stream every day pretty much. And we are almost to 80k followers on that. So anyway, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.